Hi there. This is a reading for the collective. Take what resonates, leave the rest. I want to start off by saying I know you probably, some of you are probably wondering why you haven't seen my face and for a while. And I have just been really going through it lately along my healing journey, and Spirit has kind of pulled me back from readings. But this message is so important that even though I'm exhausted, I had to get on here and share a message and then go into a reading. But I have been putting out content that Spirit has been wanting me to. Like, I'm still putting out content. You just might not see a lot of readings from me right now. And I'm just giving you a heads up that that's a thing. And then my birds are kind of going through something too right now. One of my birds laid eggs and I kind of had to separate them. So you might hear extra noise, more extra noise than normal. It is what it is. Not going to apologize because that's just what's happening in my life. But normally I would give you, I would write down a time where you could skip the first part of my message, but I'm not going to do that today because I feel like the message I'm going to give before I hop into the reading is equally as important, and like you need the whole shebang. So if you don't want to stick around, if you're impatient and like you don't want to be here, don't be here, okay? But if you're called to, when I start talking about what I'm going to talk about, if you resonate with it, stick around. This is a very, very important message because seriously, I did not sleep last night at all. And I haven't read. I haven't been doing readings, but I had to get on here and give this message. It's so important. So the topic is actions speak louder than words. And tying along with that, it's like accountability, okay? And I've been on, a lot of what's been happening with me lately, let me just say, is self-discovery, okay? And this year, 2025, is really about that. If you're trying to heal and grow, okay? And if that triggers you, maybe you want to heal and you haven't started, and welcome here. And this is a safe space, and that's what we're trying to do, is heal and grow together, even if we're on different spaces in our healing journey. But anyway, I've had a lot of anxiety lately, and a lot of old stuff coming up, a lot of old wounds coming up. And you might find that's the case for you too if you're here. It's been really hard for me. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. So I'm just taking it one day at a time. But it's been really great because so with the healing journey, it's like, I've talked about this before. It's like layers, okay? So a lot of what's resurfacing for us, if you've been on your healing journey, okay, if you have been on it for a while, is wounds that we've already dealt with, but this is like the last layer, essentially, of these really deep, big wounds that we've got, okay? This one right here that I'm going to talk about is really accountability, right? What this message is about how you viewing this need to start taking accountability in your life. And if you are a person like me who finds yourself, along this healing journey, you have been taking accountability, but you find yourself maybe over-explaining or feeling like you need to prove something to yourself or other people, the actions speak louder than words piece is coming through because you just have to do the thing, okay? You have to do the work and take it one day at a time right now, okay? So I want to share with you how I came up with this, like I had this epiphany. It's an epiphany. It wasn't like, I mean, Spirit has been giving me the tools. Like, I don't want to discredit Spirit, but it was like Spirit has been putting it in front of my face, but it took a while for me to catch up. I'm always late to the party, but I eventually show up. Okay. I always say that about myself, and it's cool. That's who I am. But last night I was doom scrolling on TikTok because I couldn't sleep. And a lot of my nights, and I've been having better rest, but a lot of my nights have been sleepless because of my anxiety has been so bad. You're going to have to bear with me in this video. So anyway, there's this doctor, this psychologist that I follow on TikTok. Her name is Dr. Nicole, and I don't know if I'm saying this right, Nicole LaPera. And she does a lot of, first of all, highly recommend if you are anywhere on your healing journey or you're wanting to start, you should definitely follow her. She does a lot of like role playing scenarios. She does, she talks about, her topics like trauma and childhood stuff and just any kind of trauma. Okay. So there was this video that I came across of hers, and it was talking about 3 signs to show you that someone is not healed or not healing. Like, I listened to the whole video, and one of the things I was like, oh yeah, I'm doing that. And then the other 2, I was like, whoa, okay. I did not realize that I'm not really showing up in that space like I thought I was, okay? And it's not a dig on me, and if you resonate with this, it's not a dig on you, it's just accountability, right? So she actually talked about accountability, and she said, you can tell somebody's not healed if they, when they're sharing stories about things they've been through, like in their past, or it could be present moment, they only talk about what that person did to them instead of sharing like the whole story and like, their piece and the role they played kind of thing. And I was like, holy shit. Like, it was like light bulb, huge epiphany here, because one of the things I didn't realize I was doing, especially in my relationship with my boyfriend, is that I have shared many stories where I was highlighting what this person did to me, but I wasn't really taking accountability for my role. Okay. Now, I do really well in my relationship with my boyfriend with acknowledging where I need to take accountability. But, when I look at it now, when like she exposed that and I was like, holy shit, I'm doing that. It's like, I'm coming from a place then when I'm sharing the story of like, I'm still a victim, and I'm not a victim. I don't want to be a victim. I don't resonate with that term at all anymore. And it's okay that I was doing this. Like, and again, if you are, it's okay too. Like, this is how we learn and grow in all of it. But what's very interesting to me was I thought about like maybe a half a year ago or a year ago, I don't know. I literally did a video about accountability, and I had wrote down things in my relationships with people that I didn't hold myself accountable for, that I was doing. So, it's very interesting because I have taken accountability for my role. It's just when I'm doing the narrative with people, well, especially my boyfriend, I'm not sharing like where I fell short, right? And I was unhealed before. So I was showing up in a different energy that wasn't as healthy for the people around me either. Like, I recognize that now. And that takes a big person to recognize that. And it takes an even bigger person to be sitting here right now with you sharing this. And hopefully it'll give you, bravery to sit with yourself and see where, like, you haven't been sharing the full story of, you know, your past connections. Because that right now, let me tell you, this stuff that if you're going through it like me, Spirit is throwing all these things at you and me because we need to be finally done with the past. Like, it's over. You know, what is important now, and that I realize, like, and I mean, it's been like a couple of weeks of realization after realization, is how I tell the story now. I literally, the day before, I was talking to my friend Catherine, and I said, oh, hold on, I just shared something, and I want to go back to that because, you know, I don't want to share the story from the narrative of, like, the details don't matter. Like, what's important to me and the reason why I'm here is to help you. It's so I learn and help you learn from those situations and learn how to get yourself out of the loop, okay? Instead of going into this long detailed story about how this person, you know, did you wrong or hurt you or whatever, right? Like, and I'm not saying, like, if you're upset, if someone did hurt you, like, if you're upset, please sit with that, be mad, be whatever. But it's very important for us now to let go of the old narrative of being the victim and wanting validation for the wrongness that was done to you, okay? Because you did play a role in it. So that's why we're here. That was I knew it was going to be a long message. Thank you for bearing with me. And I just told Spirit before I came on here that I really want to just see whatever other messages that they want to share with us regarding this action speaks louder than words and accountability. Because actually the actions, before I do this, the actions speak louder than words thing is, I recognize that I do hold myself accountable. Like I was saying, I do recognize where I, you know, am unhealed and that I'm working through something, right? And, you know, especially with my boyfriend, I've been talking through a lot of things. But then I just realized today, I'm like, okay, not to say we're not going to have conversations. Like, if we need to have a conversation, I'll talk about it. But I've gotten to a point where it's like, when I realize something, I work hard to change it. And maybe it's not like right now, okay? Maybe you can't change it right this second, but I do the work. When I realize something, I do the work, okay? So I don't need to prove anything to anybody, and I don't need to keep talking it to death. I just need to do it and show myself and my person that I'm changing for the better, right? Because that's what we're all here to do, okay? And if you have a safe connection like I do, you're going to be really triggered right now because they're giving you the room and space to figure these things out and let them go once and for all. And I can't tell you how many times that my boyfriend has said to me, let it go, let it go, let it go. And I've wanted to. And that's why we're here, because now it's time for us to actually let it go. It's done. Okay. So, and I changed just one of my decks today, and I'm like, okay, what deck do we need to use? And the Santa Morte, the death deck. Okay, the bird just flew over me. Wheel of Fortune. This is about death and rebirth. Like, if you resonate again with the fact that you've been going through it, Two of Wands, it's because you're about to have this huge rebirth, and it's going to be, look at twos. I've been seeing twos everywhere. Cut that shit out. Cut the cord. Cut it. It's done. Twos. What was I saying? So if you resonate with the fact that you've been going through it, this is like a huge death and rebirth. Okay. I've got chills to make room for peace. And I've been hearing this again and again from other readers too, but I needed the information. I needed to work through things before I could share whatever message I had for you, because this is different. This message is different than anything I've heard. I mean, I heard something along the lines. I saw this Three of Pentacles just a minute ago. It was upright though. I saw somebody kind of like, there was another reader, Astrid. She's amazing. I can't think of her full name. Maybe I can tag her. I don't know. But she kind of gave like a message that also helped me kind of realize how I was still showing up in this energy that I was in from the past, where it's out of fear, literally just fear that you can't have everything you want. And that's not the truth at all. Temperance. See, like you're alchemizing it. It's 2 7s. So you might be seeing 2s and 7s. 37 might be significant. A lot of options. You might be overwhelmed too by, maybe you're feeling like the shift and you know it's a good thing, but because you're used to things like being, like you're used to a specific thing, you feel out of control right now. And like you have all these options coming in, and for a lot of you, it's just opportunity to create more. Feels like career, but it could be relationships, could be friendships, whatever. And I think that's very much overwhelming. But clarity, look at clarity. Another two showed up, the 2 of Pentacles, balance. Okay. Balance right now, and it may be hard for you like it is for me, but it is so important. Okay. You have to, however you can, find a way to find balance. And especially if you're like me and you're an overthinker, you got to find a way to shut your mind off, because that's part of what's been happening with me too. I'm like, I know I'm not reverting back to this old version of me, but it's like, again, this is coming up because, hey, we got to take accountability like for this part of us that's unhealed, and we got to let it go. And one of the things that my boyfriend said to me, I can't, like, he probably is tired of saying it, is you think too much. I overthink everything. And I was getting out of it, I thought, but like spirit wants me to literally just stop doing it. So one of the tools that I recently got, especially because my anxiety is bad at night, because I can't shut my mind off. Like when I'm going throughout the day, and even if I'm having epiphanies and stuff, I can move through it easier because I can get outside, I can talk to a friend, I can ground myself, right? But when I'm in my bed, it's like I just lose complete control over my thoughts. So there's this yoga nidra, I'm probably not saying that right, that I came across. A doctor recently told me about that, a different, like my own personal doctor. And it helps you, like if you listen to it, go on YouTube, find somebody that you like, and it really helps you connect your body. So you're not like you have to listen to her say, okay, now relax your jaw and relax your shoulders and relax your legs. And, like she even says, now focus on your cheek. And then you kind of like focus on your cheek, and so you're not thinking, right? But the crazy part is when she said, relax your jaw, I didn't even realize when I'm sleeping or when I go lay down to sleep, like my jaw is clenched. So like I have been in this state of like stress for my whole life. And I'm trying to move out of it right now. And it's really hard. And you probably resonate with that too. God bless you. Seriously. This is just, this is really tough right now. I feel you. A lot of cup energy. This is very emotional, an emotional time. And you might resonate with the fact that you used to be very emotionally reactive, and that might be something that's coming up for you right now, where Spirit's trying to get you to find that in between of the logic, reason, and emotions. Like, you need to kind of alchemize it. It's interesting. I've been seeing the Magician a lot, but the Magician didn't show up here. So you might resonate with that, where you're like, okay, I know I'm like overreacting, or this feels familiar, like, even though I thought I was getting out of it. So you need to find a way to, balance that out. So when you think about, when you get upset or whatever at somebody or a situation or something, maybe stop for a minute and think about before you have a conversation, like I'm talking about, or just maybe, a big thing right now is recognizing, this is why we're saying accountability, recognizing that it's probably you. I'm sorry, but I'm saying that as me, okay? Like, a lot of the turmoil and the things that have happened recently in my life is because of me, because I'm doing this, overthinking and creating scenarios in my head because of my past. And I keep on looking at this log here. It's like, you got to chop that wood, you got to cut that down. Look at how tangled that is. Like, you gotta, and I mean the mind, it's like things are just, I see it. It's like oh my God. I posted something on Facebook and I thought it was funny at the time, but now it's like, fuck. And I can't think of what it said, but it was literally like somebody tangled up in all these wires. So you have been literally just cutting away at these like wires that have been puppeteering you and being like, yes, I'm safe here, it's comfy. And you're like, the fuck it is. I don't like this. Cut this down. And it's a lot. So make sure you're giving yourself a lot of grace. Like, there's a lot of, it's funny, I heard somebody reader talk about spider webs too. It's a lot of intricacies tied to these wounds. So it's like, almost like Spirit saying a lot of it is just connected, even if it doesn't feel like it, like the things that have been coming up for you. And it like, maybe that doesn't matter, but maybe Spirit's just saying the reason why you're like, okay, I thought I figured that thing out. Because I literally have been saying that, like, okay, Spirit, like, how many epiphanies do you want me to have in like 2 or 3 weeks? This is a lot for me. But what Spirit is saying is like, hey, there is a lot to these wounds. There's a lot to that goes behind the scenes with what you've been through, and you're cutting through that shit. And listen, a round of applause for you, because you're passing the tests. Okay, if there was any doubt, I've got chills everywhere. Spirit is like, you are doing that thing. You need to celebrate that, even if it's hard right now, because you don't, like, you're like me and you don't have energy. You're like, I don't feel like doing anything. I'm exhausted. Celebrate yourself in some kind of way, because you've been going through it. Again, if you're here with me, watering your own garden is very important, because here's the thing. One of the things I realized too is that, I already knew I was a codependent kind of person, and that's something I've been working through for a long time. But part of the thing that I didn't realize what I was doing was really putting my energy on so like my boyfriend, and then my pets in my home, and then not watering myself. So like, I was looking at the temperance cup, right? That's all about balance. And look she's pouring into her own cup, right? So, your garden isn't going to grow if you're putting all your energy into everybody else around you. Okay. Those people, those pets, if you got pets, your children, they know you love them. And you don't have to prove it anymore. That's one of that's what I was talking about. Action speaks louder than words, right? That's one of the things that you do. You feel like you got to prove that you love somebody, or that like you're enough. No, you don't. They already know. They already know who you are. You're a beautiful human. There was something else with this watering message. The seeds are planted. They've been planted for a while, and they're gonna grow as you grow, right? Look at all the roots too. It's like these are new roots. These are healthy roots that you're growing. So you're getting the growing pains right now, and like with the tangled mesh, you're getting like, so like roots get tangled, but this is like healthy, like, because look at, they're blooming. Okay, this feels more dead over here. So another thing with accountability is your like need to save everybody, like, too. It's like you got to go fix everything. I resonate with that. In the end, it's like people who are trying to work with you don't feel like they can, or don't know how to work with you because you just do everything. So you got to really start watering. Like, you've done beautiful at helping the people around you, and the, you know, I mean, whoever's around you, whatever, you know, pets, whatever, like me, like you've done a really good job at watering the things around you. So now Spirit is saying, like, you've got to be watered, and you got to let other people water you too. Okay. And like, see, look at all these, and look at, there's flowers in this one. It's okay to be overwhelmed. Spirit's saying it's okay to be overwhelmed by the opportunities that are about to come your way, because it's going to be huge, like huge chills everywhere, blessings, 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 blessings. And I like, they get that you're scared. But because of the roots and the foundation that you've built, like, it, like, look at these vines, they're like protecting the cups. Like, nobody can touch your blessings if that's a fear you have. Okay. So lack mindset is coming up with that too, because it's like, okay, I don't have enough, or maybe you've had envy for other people. Like, that's an accountability piece that you have to have. Okay. That's something you need to sit with. There's more than enough to go around. And I don't feel like you're a person that wants to see people fail, but maybe you have looked at other people before and you're like, man, I wish I had that. And, maybe was a little jealous of their accomplishments. But you still rooted for them, and Spirit saying, like, you've had good, here's the thing. Here's the big message too. You've had good intentions for the most part. Everybody's got trauma. Everybody's got a little toxicity, right? The key is that you've done the work. You're doing the work. You're going to continue doing the work, right? So that's why you get these blessings. And that's what you need to remind yourself. No self-sabotaging here, okay? So 7 of Wands, this card has been really sticking out to me, because that's like standing your ground, but there's a defensiveness that comes with this, okay? You're, because of your past experiences, it's almost like you've got this pride, you've got this like badge that you're trying to wear of like, well, I did all these things, and, you know, I came through this, and now I need to be on the defense, because I was just looking at Archangel Michael. He's a protector. Now I got to protect myself because of all these experiences. And Spirit's like, no, you need to take the lessons from before, listen to the birds, and clear up the gunk. And you know who's aligned with you, you know who isn't, right? You know what's aligned with you, you know what isn't. So instead of like being on guard, and I've talked about this a lot in my readings, and that was a message for me too. All this stuff is resonating for me. You need to drop the shield, okay? And listen, part of why you're defensive is because you didn't have a voice before, but you have one now. So there's that accountability and action. Like, when you need to speak up, you speak up. Don't let it get tangled up here, and then you're like upset for whatever reason, for whatever you're upset about, because you didn't speak up. Like, you have the voice now, so use your words, but not in a negative way. Okay. Like I was saying, you need to kind of sit back and go, okay, how do I communicate this? Because I feel like if you're like me, where you had trouble communicating in the past for whatever reason, and now that you're in a safe space, you're trying to like figure out how to communicate what you think, feel, and all of that. It's really important, especially now if you're going through all this, that you pause and see what kind of place your energy is coming from. Because, when you think about those people who talk down to you or, didn't listen to you or whatever, listen to the birds right now. You probably got defensive, right? Or you probably shut down. So if you mirror that and come at people in your life in that energy, they're not going to receive it well. So it's very important that you don't need to necessarily stand your ground anymore. It's very interesting because you just need to be in your power and you need to be in your own energy and show up authentically instead of from this place of, I gotta be on the defense, I gotta defend myself. Yeah. In the middle, this is perfect that this is in the middle because here's the sun. I mean, there's sun over here, but this feels like the ick, and you're kind of getting to this place where you're really understanding things and you're starting to alchemize. And again, with the growth, right? The growth around you, like things are building around you because you're figuring it out. But it's really important right now that you fill up your own cup and don't overextend yourself, because that's probably something that I definitely resonate with that. And talking about that over here, like with the Three of Pentacles, right? It's like, you probably were a person that just didn't have any boundaries, or maybe you had boundaries, but they weren't airtight or whatever. And, you overextended yourself a lot. And that's something that you're really needing to learn and you're working on right now, should be working on right now, is knowing when to pause and put the sun on you, to get outside, however you need to find peace and not worry about anybody else or anything else. Like, just fill up you, okay? This is interesting because this feels like a 2 as well, because, usually with, I don't know if this Chariot, okay, yeah, no. Usually with the Chariot card, it's got, well, I guess there's kind of 2 people. I mean, there's, all these other people, but these feel like main characters. Usually there's a, actual chariot, and then there's 2 horses, right? There's a lot of duality that's coming up right now for you because people in our lives are mirrors, and you're being faced with a lot of dark and light. Like you're working on alchemizing the darkness. And you might be like me, someone who always tried to find the good. And not to say you shouldn't, but I posted something recently about moods, okay? Because I realized that I have never allowed myself, okay, accountability. And I was just talking about this with my boyfriend and my friends and stuff. I've never been a person that allowed myself to actually be in whatever mood I was in. So I was always trying to be this happy-go-lucky Colette instead of allowing myself to be angry, to be sad, to be mad, like feeling guilty about being in a mood that was other than this happy person. So, you might be being faced right now with a lot of darkness because you have to allow yourself to go there. And maybe you're afraid of the darkness. Maybe you're afraid you're going to be pulled in and never be able to come out. But Spirit is like, no. It's for clarity, because you need to understand that duality is important, and you need to go sometimes detour down this, I've got chills, down this path that feels icky. And you're like, why is this happening? Why is this happening? Am I ever going to get out of this? Yes, once you face what you need to face. Okay. So you might be someone like me who struggled a lot with facing reality that was hard. And I was just talking to my boyfriend about this too. Like, it took me a long time to become an adult. Like, when things got hard, I could not deal. Like, I would shut down. So coping mechanisms are coming up a lot here lately. And that doctor talks about them too. So, and we all probably at some point develop unhealthy ones, but when I shut down, I avoid my responsibilities and sometimes sabotage myself with my responsibilities. That might look like me spending money I don't have, okay, for instance, or doom scrolling. I feel like a lot of us do that, right? Or like, I like to play video games, but I didn't realize like I was doing that every day. And it was because I knew I had to do this work right here that I'm doing right now. And hey, maybe if I would have dealt with it sooner, I'd be out of the woods right now. But I'm, here I am, and it's okay. I'm right where I'm supposed to be, and you are too. But it's so interesting. Oh, there's flowers on this one too. Flowers everywhere. It's happening. Okay. You're getting there. I promise. Just hang in there, Spirit says. Oh shoot, I lost my train of thought. Thanks a lot. So, these detours, divine detours or whatever, right now are important because Spirit wants you to face the darkness so you can really actually be in this light energy. And because the alchemizing keeps on coming up, because you're going to be able to sit better in the darkness and know when you need to go to the darkness so you can get back to the light. I've got chills everywhere on this. And the little detours you take are important because that's where you're having the self-discoveries that you're having and that I'm having. Okay. So, and it's okay to be scared and maybe you're like me and you get anxiety, like, find help with that and whatever works for you. I'm on medication again. I never thought I'd be back on anxiety medication, but I had to do it for my well-being. And I was worried, honestly, about if I was going to be able to do this, but I haven't slept, and look at how connected I am. Like, I'm too connected now to not be connected. And maybe you need to hear that too. I needed that message. I didn't realize, but, the more that you allow yourself to go to wherever you need to go in that moment, that whatever mood you're in, start trying to recognize when you're in that mood, and not being reactive. Okay. Where did we talk about the reactive energy? I don't remember. I'm sorry. But not being reactive emotionally, right? Or however you're being reactive. It's going to be easier for you to not have anxiety and not be in this constant state of fear, and fight or flight is definitely a thing. And I recommend too, if you've been having a hard time, like with me, like I have, not with me, with anxiety especially, try to check out on TikTok. There's a lot of people who talk about like the nervous system, because I started realizing I had 2 panic attacks back to back nights, and I'm like, God, why is this happening? That's not who I am anymore. But well, if you're not dealing with your shit and listening to your body, you're going to have that. So when you look up nervous system stuff, like there's a lot of people who talk about like techniques that you can use to kind of get your nervous system regulated and out of the fight or flight response. One of the things that I found, I think my friend Kiana shared with me, was the technique where you go into an ice bath or a shower and you just douse yourself with cold, okay? And it shocks your body into like a calmer state. And the person that talked about it, I'm sorry, I don't know who the message was from, otherwise I'd share it. they said that if you're just starting out, like, don't go like completely ice cold. Maybe start off like hot and then go to kind of lukewarm, and, just, um, kind of ease yourself into it. But that actually really did help me. And sometimes we forget about tools when we get overwhelmed. And that's definitely the energy right now, is overwhelmed. And you might have been a person who used to be overwhelmed, and spirit doesn't want that for you anymore. So that's an accountability piece. And you need to start taking action towards sharing the workload, especially. A lot of people who are watching this, this is something I probably should have realized in the beginning, are probably feminine energy. So you don't have to be a female, but you probably resonate with the fact that you are very nurturing and soft and care for other people. And you're just used to taking on everything when you're not meant to. And some people did put that on you. Like, we're not just, again, or maybe I didn't say this, like, I'm not discounting what you've been through, and I'm not discounting what I've been through, but, now is the time that you have to recognize that you're in safe spaces and you can allow yourself to be cared for too. Okay. You don't have to keep pouring into everybody. And like, this is there's a lot of insecurity coming up right now. This is like, am I good enough kind of thing, a self-worth kind of wound here. Okay. So take accountability for that and start recognizing your worth. And that starts within. It doesn't, like, that's a big message too, that I keep, talking about in a roundabout way, is it's not about like what other people say to you and tell you. Like, no amount of words can make you feel good enough about yourself. Like, you have to make yourself feel good about yourself. So maybe affirmations or writing down what makes you a good person would really help you right now. And I'm going to do that too. So yeah, I just really feel like the mind is trying to keep you in the loop. Okay. Keep you in this loop that you've always been in. The mind is playing tricks on you for sure. And it has been for me too. But there's a flower. Look at, and it's, this skeleton is in the water. So one of the tools my friend told me too, like Kiana, she's so gifted, and she just intuitively got a message that sitting in a bath is going to help you kind of like release that negativity and the overthinking and, whatever you're going through. So I've been taking more baths, and maybe I need to take another one. But it's like a release. There's like a releasing and a healing, kind of being held type energy with this water. But you, like, what's happening right now with what I'm talking about, this message, is that you're rewiring your brain. I was talking about wiring over here, and I was talking about roots. I've got chills. So, well, okay, instead of wires, instead of puppeteering, we're actually building roots, plants. This is like healthy stuff. Okay. So, and it's weird because all of a sudden my head is tingly. So this is a very exciting time for you, because you're doing something that probably has never been done in your family. You're changing how you perceive things and how you were taught to see things too. That's a message here. That's not about accountability. That's just beautiful that you're able to alchemize and, work on yourself, and you're determined to say, no more of this. I'm done with this. You don't have control over me. This has control. It's the heart. It's about the heart, because you've got a beautiful heart. So you need to get it more out of your head. And I'm not saying like, so whatever epiphanies and things that are coming to light for you now, I'm not saying you shouldn't go there, but it's important that you don't spiral. Okay. So, at night, if you're having trouble sleeping like me, like, I'm going to try to figure out something that I could do If I can't sleep, that's more productive than being on my phone, because that is not helping me. I already knew that, but I needed to realize that today. That's an accountability, right? And that's where I get trapped up here. So if you get caught up in your head at night, find something to do. Read a book. Perfect. Read a book. But listen, clarity. And I love, like, this just feels like these belong together, because it's like you're working with the elements. Woo! Catherine, if you watch this video, I got chills. Like, you're working with the everything that's around you, the alchemizing stuff that I keep saying. Like, you're just really, you've put in a lot of work, and now you're going to be reaping what you sow because of it. Like, seriously, clarity is your freedom, for real, from this past. Like, the accountability, the taking action, like, the more clarity you gain, even in these tough moments right now, is the more that you're going to step forward into the light. And a lot of you probably that are like me, and you're going to be teaching people how to do it, which is really fucking cool. And I'm going to get emotional again in a good way. So I just want to kind of pull, because I've been talking about like being outside in nature, and I want to pull a couple of these, this like earth deck, I forget what it's called. And then I'm going to pull just a couple affirmations, because this was a really tough message. And I understand that, but we needed to hear it. Okay. Yeah. Hard work. Look at, I've been seeing bees a lot. Keep it simple. Healing. Yes. Oh my God. Message. The more healing you do, the more clarity comes, the more messages come. Okay, so I heard in my, like, spirit gave me a message the other day that said back to basics. Keep things simple. And this is like, things are going to be so simple for you. Like, the more clarity you find too, where you're just going to, like, it's not going to be all tangled up. Like, you're just going to be like, oh, that was easy. Water. Maybe drinking more water, maybe pouring stuff into your water, or pretending like you're putting something good into your water, like tricking yourself into believing, like, oh God, I feel like there's a movie that they do that in, where they're like, or they do it to kids, right? Oh, I'm putting this medicine in your water or your food, and you're going to feel better. Maybe you start telling yourself that when you're putting water in your cup, like, I'm gonna drink this water and it's gonna make me feel better. Like, there's stuff in this water that is gonna make me really feel healed. Abundance. Look at this. Yeah. Fear. You're not a rabbit. You are not a fucking rabbit. You've gone through life as a rabbit, or this damaged bird, but I wish I had. Okay, the wolves have been coming up. Where's that wolf at? Wisdom. You're a wolf. You're not a rabbit. Okay? Like, what's crazy about you? Oh my God, like, is it at the end? No. What's crazy about you is you could easily, and I've heard this message before, like, this feels like a long time ago. You could easily be the predator, right? As the wolf. But you are not a predator. You are out, there it is. You are out there doing your thing, sharing your voice to help other people. And it's so beautiful. Like, this is not an easy task. Spirit recognizes that. So proud of you for doing that. But remember, when you get caught up here, that you're actually the wolf and not the rabbit. Okay. And you've never been the rabbit. You just allowed yourself to be the rabbit for way too long. That's what you're coming out of. Okay. Let's get an affirmation or two, and then I gotta call it. I'm tired. You want strings? Stop it. Butterflies. Okay. So I have my butterfly here, and I've been carrying this around for new beginnings, right? Transformation. You might be seeing a lot of 11s right now. I have, okay, strings of destiny. I weave the strings of my own destiny. I imagine my future into reality. I attract wisdom, cultivate strength, and today I will take the next step in my journey. Yes. Okay, you're weaving it all together. You're putting the pieces of the puzzle together, and maybe this piece is going to add another piece, and you're going to have to add another piece, or maybe this is the last piece. I mean, it's going to be different for everybody, but you're doing the thing already, okay? Garden, stop. Water garden, internal garden. I take time to tend my internal garden. I spend intentional time in meditation and self-care to cultivate my soul. Within myself, I grow the fruit I eat for sustenance. Okay, bye. Yes. And the last one, this is really, fire. Nope, I gotta share that one too. Diamond of character. My character is a diamond. I become stronger and radiant under pressure. The obstacle is the way to enlightenment. The struggle is the gift that uncovers deeper meaning. Who can stand on the summit who has not first climbed the mountain? Yeah, because listen, if you just, look at, she's meditating. If you just climb that mountain, there would be no gratification in that. Once you get up the mountain, you're going to go, damn, I did that thing, and it took all this stuff to get there, but this is so rewarding. I'm seeing, if you ever watch the challenge on MTV, like they do a lot where they have to climb like mountains and stuff. Like I'm seeing something, and they have like at the end of the season, they have these like ridiculous obstacles that they have to go through. So think of this as like an obstacle course, I feel like Spirit is saying, and maybe that'll help you get through it easier. Sacred fire. I am filled with passion. My energy is like a bonfire burning within. Catherine. I feel energy flow through my being, and I focus this power to achieve my goals today. Yes, dragon. Maybe some of you have like a dragon energy with you. You're probably not going to believe me, but, or within that you need to embrace, like, okay, maybe you're not a wolf, you're a dragon. Maybe you need to figure out like what you actually are instead of a rabbit. Maybe you're not a wolf. Maybe you're a tiger or a lion or a bear. You know, I don't know, whatever you resonate with, but it's important that you remember because that's the key to all of this. The accountability, actions speak louder than words. You're actually stepping into your power and figuring out who you are now in this moment with all these epiphanies. And like, that is the toughest challenge in our life, is embracing who we want to be. So I'm proud of you. Thank you for being here. Any subscribers, likes to my channel, comments on my channel, are appreciated. I'm like, am I forgetting anything? If you would like to donate to my channel, I will put in the comments where you can donate, but it's not expected. Excuse me, so sorry, but really appreciated. And I am doing online booking readings. Well, I mean, if you feel called, if you're connected to this message and you want more, because I do a lot of, because I've worked on my trauma for so long and like healing that, I can help you with this. And if I'm not up to it, I will let you know. But Spirit is calling me more into this instead of the work I'm doing. Like, that is unfulfilling right now. So if you're called and you want to book a reading, I'm going to put that in the comments. And if I'm too tired, I will reschedule with you. You'll just have to be patient with me right now. And I really hope this finds who it needs to and helps you.